You know this situation. You're on a recruiter call for a company and position that you really want. And then that question comes up. What are you looking for compensation-wise? Here's the thing. Many will have a ballpark. Some will give the recruiter a range. And some will say, I'm flexible. This is because you don't have those specific reflexes that you've practiced to put the pressure on the other side and giving you more room for the number you want. You see, most candidates will tend to think, I need to work on a number. But why do you need to work on a number at such an early stage? What you want to do is first understand the role, what you're going to get before you even talk about a number that is suitable for your needs. We're going to use 8 reflexes that you're going to build into your muscle memory that will allow you to have control of the conversation, moving the conversation from their point of view of, I want a number so I can consider you in a different way, to deflecting and reframing the call to what your needs are. I'm going to show you 8 bloat sentences and then a really good reflex you can use instead of that kind of sentence. This allows you to be more flexible if you have these strong, powerful sentences to use on a recruiter call. Here's number 1. I think maybe around 80 to 100,000, depending on the role. That puts you in a defensive position. If you're not exactly sure, then you seem hesitant and you're moving the power and the control to the person you're having the conversation with. Here's what I would say. I'd want to understand the scope first. I'd want to understand the scope first. You are telling the recruiter, I want to know if it's worth my while to continue to have this conversation with you. Here's number 2. I'm flexible. What's the range for the position? This actually puts you in a position where you sound like you did not do your research regarding this position in the market, and it'll put a lot of pressure on you to prove yourself. Instead, you're going to use, let's align on fit first. Let's align on fit first. You're telling the recruiter, I want to be sure that this is right for me as well as for the company. Strengthening your position. At number 3, we have, I'm currently at X amount, so somewhere above that would be good. Again, you are sounding a bit passive. This is what I'm earning at the moment. Could you consider it for me? Is it something that is open for debate? This, again, gives the power to the recruiter, who might not have been considering a number at all, but you've already addressed that, and you've closed and narrowed your position when it comes to an actual number. Instead, I would say, let's not let my current number shape this one. Let's not let my current number shape this one. This already puts the pressure on the other side. They don't know what you are currently earning, in addition to the fact that you can now propose a number that is much higher than your current position and put you in a much better place. Number 4, we're looking at what's the budget you've been given for this position? Notice again that it sounds very defensive. You're trying to figure out if you can fit into their position instead of having them fit yours. So you move the power back to the recruiter when it's actually supposed to be in your hands. So instead of that, I would actually say, what's the band you're authorized for? What's the band you're authorized for? What's a band? Many companies will have a structured layer of salaries depending on the position, and each position will have a series of bands or a series of layers depending on experience and the kind of company you worked for. This gives the company the ability to pretty much play around with the salary that they want to give. But it also allows you to structure your position higher than what they might consider for this position. It gives you a lot more strength to choose what you want. At number 5, we have money isn't really my main motivator. As someone that has recruited into tech positions in the past, this kind of sentence will put me off. It's always a motivator. We want to pursue a career, we want to build our financials. Therefore, someone that comes in and wants to sound really good, money isn't my thing, I'll accept any offer. That's what you're saying. I will accept any offer. And the fact that the company will say, fantastic, we're going to reduce the offer to the bare minimum for that role. And that's not where you want to be. By the way, this includes even if you're in a junior position and you want to come into the market as someone out of university or a course. Never say that it's not a motivator. What I would say, compensation matters, let's get there properly. Compensation matters, let's get there properly. When you're saying that, you're already addressing the fact that compensation is a motivator, but you also understand where you are in this negotiation. You're not going over the top, you're not trying too much, but you do want the salary that represents your skill level. At our number 6, we've got, can we maybe talk about salary later in the process? Why would you want to talk about salary later? For the simple reason that you want to showcase your abilities before carrying on. Giving the company, giving the recruiter, a look at what you can bring the company right away, and allowing you to suggest a much higher salary. But a sentence like that will sound defensive and a bit soft. Instead, what I would say is, I'd rather we come back to this later. I'd rather we come back to this later. This allows you to carry on the conversation regarding your abilities, allowing the recruiter to see the value that you're bringing to the role and the company, and then seeing about the compensation. At number 7, and this one I had a few engagements with, I don't want to price myself out, so I'll let you tell me first. This kind of sentence gives the power to the recruiter. And the bottom line is, you're saying, I'm going to let you decide the number, even though I know what I want. This removes your strength within this conversation and will also push you down when it comes to a band level within that company, because it seems as though you're not entirely sure. Instead, I would say, scope first, then we can talk about a number. Scope first, and then we can talk about the number. This gives you two things. One, you're addressing the most important part. What exactly is the position? The second part, you're letting them know, yes, we are going to talk about compensation. It's important, but I'd rather first talk about the position itself. It makes you look like a professional that is engaging first about the position and then about compensation, which strengthens your position. At number 8, we've got, yes, that range works for me. The problem with the range is the fact that if you go too high immediately, they might not consider you. Yet if you go too low, they might think you're lowballing and maybe you're not the exact fit for this role. Instead, I would look at this sentence. That tells me we're in the same neighborhood. That tells me we're in the same neighborhood. You're not suggesting the high or the low. You're telling the recruiter we are talking about the same range, but you're in more control of the conversation, allowing the recruiter to understand that you are willing to discuss, but you're not willing to go outside this range. Now that we have the reflexes, let's look at a real-world scenario. One that incorporates these sentences, these reflexes that you want to commit to muscle memory, but in an environment that you know and you can see exactly how it works. It's Tuesday, 11:14. The kitchen smells like coffee you forgot to drink. The phone is face up on the counter, and Prayer's voice fills the room the way warm voices do, soft and easy to listen to. She's in her mid-30s. You have not seen her, but you can hear her smile. You have heard that smile in every recruiter screen you have ever taken. So, thank you so much for making time. I want to keep this really light, just a quick chat, so I can get you in front of the hiring manager next week. Of course, you say. Brilliant. So, tell me a bit about what you're doing right now. You tell her. 40 seconds, clean and to the point. She makes the noises a good recruiter makes when things sound good. Lovely. Got it. And just so I can fill in my notes, what are you looking for compensation-wise? Just a ballpark is fine, she says. There it is. 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the call. There it is. 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the call, sandwiched between tell me about your current role and what's your notice period, casual, just thrown around. The way you'd ask someone their postcode. You feel the pull to be helpful. The pull to say a number, any number, because the silence is starting to fill the room. You don't fill it. I'd want to understand the scope first. That's it. A small pause on her end. Not offended, recalibrating. Sure, I'll get to all of that. I just want to make sure we're in the right ballpark before I take up the hiring manager's time. You do understand, right? She is good. Before I take up the hiring manager's time is a beautiful piece of leverage. She has just told you that the price of advancing is a number. I understand. What's the band you're authorized for? The pause this time is longer. I mean, it's not really how we do it. We usually ask the candidate first. I'd rather we don't do it backwards. What's the band? I can share a rough range, but I want yours first. Just so I know we're not wasting anyone's time. She's going to come back 3 different ways. You can hear her notes open behind her voice. The cursor is in the salary expectation field. She's not going to advance you until something is written in there. The trap is the field, not the question. Look, I appreciate that. Let's not let my current number shape this one. The role I'm in is 2 years old. The role you're hiring for isn't the same shape. If I tell you what I'm on now, that's the number you're going to write down. And we both end up negotiating against that number. You let that sit for a moment. She does too. That's fair, she says. And it is the first thing she has said that sounds like her, not the template that she was using. I hear that a lot, actually. You hold back. Okay, let me try this a different way. If I sent you the JD right now and asked you to give me a number you'd accept, what would you say? This is the second wave. It's the same question, but it's dressed for a different occasion. Let's align on fit first. If the role is what I think it is, the number won't be the hard part. And if it isn't, the number doesn't matter. You're not going to give me a number, are you? She says. She's laughing now, not unkindly. The way someone laughs when they realize the conversation has stopped being the one they were prepared for. Not in minute 3. Fair enough. You know, most people fold here. I know. Pause. You can hear her typing. She's not typing a number into a field. She's typing something else. All right. Different question. If I told you the band was 85 to 110, would that work for you? The third wave. It's the smartest one. She has named a number, and the polite thing, the fluent thing, is just to confirm it. You feel your mouth start to form the word yes. But you're not going to say that. You wait 2 seconds. That tells me we're in the same neighborhood. Silence. A different kind of silence. The kind where the other person has just realized they're not going to win this one and is deciding whether they mind or not. You're very careful, she says. I'm interested. Are you, though? She says. Because most people who are interested give me a number. This is the part where the candidate usually folds. Money isn't really my main motivator, the apology number, or the fluency reflex dressed up as humility. She's offering you the exit. She wants you to take it because it would allow her to put it in her numbers. Write it down. Close it. Compensation matters. Let's get there properly. There's a small sound, almost a hum. You could barely hear it. Okay, she says. She's not saying, okay, we'll move on. She's saying, okay, you're not what I thought you were when this call started. Then, lighter. I'll be honest, my template wants a number in the box. That's my problem, not yours. What I can do is talk to the hiring manager that you are someone who treats this seriously, and we should make the compensation conversation a proper one, not a tick box. Scope first, then number. Scope first, then number, she repeats. The way someone repeats a phrase they're going to use again later with someone else. She is selling you forward in real time. You can hear it. Listen, she says. Let me get you in front of Daniel. Thursday or Friday next week. He'll walk you through the actual scope. Then you and I have a proper compensation conversation after that meeting. With the JD in front of us, with the band on the table. With both of us being honest about the numbers. Does that work? She says. The salary field in her template is still blank. I'd rather we come back to this. That's what I'm saying, she says. We come back to this after Daniel with information. That works, you say. Brilliant. I'll send Thursday and Friday options in the next hour. There's a small pause. The kind where she is looking at her notes and deciding what to write where the number would have been. This was a good call, she says. Most of these don't go this way. Most of them don't need to. No, she says, they don't. And you can feel the smile. The line goes quiet. You hear her keyboard, one small click, probably the next button on her template. So the salary field stayed blank. A massive win. Why is it a win? You used 8 smart reflexes at the right moment to address issues that most candidates don't think of when they face this kind of situation. They look for grammar rules, they look for vocabulary. You are going to have sentences, reflexes, muscle memory, so you can say what you need in real time. This is the second time that you've heard these reflexes. Now we're going to nail them in. I'm going to say a sentence from our story and then give you time to try and remember the reflex. And then I will say it back to you, and you can shadow me if you want to out loud to really nail that reflex into muscle memory. Drill 1. And for this one, I'll give you a little hint. We're talking about reflex number 5. You're not going to give me a number, are you? Most people who are interested give me a number. Compensation matters. Let's get there properly. Compensation matters. Let's get there properly. Drill 2. If I sent you the JD right now and asked you to give me the number you accept, what would you say? Let's align on fit first. Let's align on fit first. Drill 3. I get it, but I really do need something in the box before I can advance you. Just a ballpark. Scope first, then number. Scope first, then number. Drill 4. And just so I can fill in my notes, what are you looking for compensation-wise? Just a ballpark is fine. I'd want to understand the scope first. I'd want to understand the scope first. Drill 5. If I told you the band was 85 to 110, Would that work for you? That tells me we're in the same neighborhood. That tells me we're in the same neighborhood. Drill 6. I just want to make sure we're in the right ballpark before I take up the hiring manager's time. You understand? What's the band you're authorized for? What's the band you're authorized for? Drill 7. Look, let me come back to this in a second, but I do need a number from you today, even a rough one. I'd rather we come back to this. I'd rather we come back to this. Drill 8. What are you currently earning? I can work from there. Let's not let my current number shape this one. Let's not let my current number shape this one. In this video, we went through our 8 reflexes 3 times. Try and see if you can already remember some of them and you can engage and use them in real time. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.